What is up, YouTube? Darth V Twin coming at ya, live and free. What? You're fucked in the head, bud. Alright, what is up? So, as promised, the much awaited, much anticipated Ask Me Anything. Alright, so the first question was by Mike Horowitz, or something Horowitz. And he asked me what kind of helmet I have. Someone else asked me that question too. I think his name was Devin Coriel. This is a Bandit Posse helmet. It's kind of like a Simpson, but I think it's a little more rugged looking. But I'm going to post a link to where you can find this helmet in the description of this video. They're pretty sick, and they're not too expensive. But I'm going to do a review on it later too. Maybe in another video. Maybe in this video, at the end of this video. We'll see. You'll know at the end of this video if I did or didn't. Next is the Frosty 240. And he asked me what I would recommend for him for his first bike. Well, now this question, everyone who rides a motorcycle gets asked this question, and it's very difficult question to answer, because I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into what your first bike should be. I mean, what kind of riding do you want to do? Where do you live? Are you going to be commuting? Are you going to be mostly on the back roads? How tall are you? How heavy are you? Have you ridden anything before in your life, or just like cars? There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I mean, there are some bikes that you really just can't go wrong with. I mean, if you're going for a cruiser, there's always like the Street Series bikes that they have. They're always like the 750s or the 500s, or like the Honda Shadow 500s, or even Harley now has a Street 500 and a Street 750. Those are great bikes for beginners if you're looking for a cruiser. If you're looking for a rocket, I mean, there's Ninja 300s, there's CBR, I think 250s, there's even 125s, I mean, if you want to get real comfortable. But if you think that, if you're really confident in yourself, there's no reason you can't ride like a Ninja 600 or something like that. There's really, it's all just depends on your comfort level, because I mean, if you're not very, how should I put this? If you're not very smooth, I guess, and if you feel like when you freak out, you might accidentally do something like grab the throttle or drop the clutch or something, then you should probably start on a smaller bike, just to kind of take away from a little bit of the danger if that happens. But if you feel like you're pretty calm and collective under stress, then there's no reason you can't start on a bigger bike, because I mean, it all depends on what you put into it. The bike will only go as fast as you let it go. So and I mean, it's all just taking it slow at first and learning your bike before you try to do anything like ride on roads that are crowded, or try to go really fast, or start trying to stunt or anything like that, or motovlog at the same time. But I mean, there's always littler options out there that are really good for starting with. And the nice thing about them is normally these bikes, like the smaller ones, are a lot cheaper. They're really friggin' cheap. I think, in my opinion though, like that bike right there, some kind of dual sport or enduro, those are great bikes to start out on, because you have a lot of control over those bikes. I mean, I can't count how many times I've seen people go for their tests on the bikes, and the guys on these big super sports and sport bikes, and even cruisers, they can't handle these little tight courses that make up for you, but these little enduros just whip through them, because you have a lot of control over those bikes. They're really easy to ride, and I mean, you can get like a 450, you'd have no problem controlling it and learning how to use it. So I mean, it's not really hard to ride something like an enduro, and they're a lot more fun to get used to and a lot more fun to learn on, I would say anyway. But like I said, it's more of a personal preference. What I would do is I would just start looking around at them, sitting on bikes, seeing what makes you feel good. Yeah. Even the next guy here is Dennis Robinson. He asked me, he said, well, first thing is, he said he's taking the safety course. And he mentioned something about him being a dork because of that. But dude, I mean, if you've never ridden before, or even if you have, those courses are I never took one, but I've read about them and I have friends who have taken them. They are great things to do. Even if you've ridden for a long time, like, you're going to learn tricks and techniques that a lot of people don't know. Or, you know, there's some things that I've learned over time, just riding forever, that I didn't even know what I was doing or what it was called. Like, I didn't know counter steering was called counter steering. I thought it was just fucking steering, because that's what felt natural when you're on a bike. But they're going to teach you things like that, and they're going to teach you the technical side of it and why people do it and how it helps you and the physics of it and everything. And they're going to teach you how to control bikes properly too. And I'm not sure if your question meant like what is a good engine size to start out on, or if you're asking what engine size to use in the course. But I think if you're going for the course, they provide bikes for you. I think they provide 125s for you. I could be wrong, but you might be able to use your own bike. Now, if you're asking what engine size is good for a dude, you said you're 6 foot even and 200 pounds. That's exactly what I am. I ride a 1200, but I've been riding my entire life. And this 1200 will scoot me around pretty well. If you're looking for a cruiser, a 1200 will get you around pretty good. And the thing is about it too is they're pretty nippy little bikes. They're fast. Like if you get a Sportster or something like that, or like a sport version of a cruiser bike, they're usually pretty nippy little bikes. If you're looking for a sport bike, however, like I just mentioned, I think I wouldn't go over 600 for your first bike. Like taking on a leader bike or something like that, or even a 750 is a little bit. You're asking for a little bit of trouble, but I mean, you could go for a 600 pretty easily, and you're gonna be surprised. I mean, if you've never ridden bikes before, and if the only bike you've ridden or are going to have ridden is during your street course, you're gonna be surprised when you step on a bike with a little bit more power, or like this, a little bit more torque, because it's gonna pull you around quite a bit. You're gonna have to learn how to use your throttle control and your clutch control. And also just ways to keep your weight on the body to help yourself stay up proper. Because they're considerably more heavy too. That's another thing. They're very heavy bikes. You'd be surprised the first time you drop a bike how heavy it is, how hard they are to lift up, and how hard they are to keep up if you start tipping. Who else here? Oh, Adrian Jafari. Another man from the cold Netherlands asks me what the temperature is when I'm riding out here. Today it's kind of nippy out. It is probably about 10 degrees Celsius. I'll flash what that is in Fahrenheit on the screen in case you're in a Fahrenheit-ridden country. But it's been pretty chilly here lately. There was a couple days there where I was vlogging. That some of those I think 2 of the vlogs that I put up were really nice. It was like plus 24 or something. So it was just a really nice day to be out riding. And those are beautiful days. Plus 24 Celsius with a little bit of wind. That's the best weather ever for riding. Ever. There's nothing better you could ask for. It's just great. It makes everything a dream. Let's get a little bit of rap going here. That was fun. Another dude trying to be funny. Dylan Steen, man. Dylan Steen asking me, can he have on my bike? Fuck yeah, bud, come get it. No, you can't have my bike, motherfucker. Fuck you, big butt. That's a good question though, because it is a sexy beast. Woo! Squid asked me 3 questions. Boy, you're gonna have to start paying if you keep asking me questions. He asked me how long I've been riding. I've been riding since I can remember. I think I was 4 years old. I stepped on a PW50. And then when I was 6 or 7? No, when I was 7 years old, I think I bought my first dirt bike. 7, I think? Somewhere around that age. Bought my first dirt bike. I bought an XR80. And I wrapped that around. And then it was like, I just kept upgrading dirt bikes until I got to about 6. No, I actually had dirt bikes my whole life up until about 21. My last bike was a KX250. Because I was stunting hard, boy! Street bikes, I guess this is the first one that I've legally ridden and owned. And I got this about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, yeah? 4. But I mean, I've ridden friends' bikes and other such bikes. since I was about 16. I had a friend's Maxim for quite a while that I rode to and forth to school and whatnot. So he also asks me what got me started. Do you really need to ask there, Squid? I mean, look at this. This is a dream. This is the best thing in the world. There's nothing better you could imagine. From the moment I ever saw a bike when I was just a kid, just a little bitty baby, I was rapping everywhere. I would put those fucking baseball cards in my bike and ride around in my bike spokes and pretend that I was on motorbikes. I loved it. And then he asked me what my scariest moment on a bike was. Well, see, now every day there's scary moments, and there's some that jump you a little more than others, but I think probably the scariest moment I've ever had on a bike was when I had my XR80. And I don't know if I'm cheating here because I'm using a dirt bike story, but when I had my XR80, I was coming back on the logging roads, and I was chasing a bunch of guys who were on CR125, KX250, XR500. All these guys had huge bikes. I wanted to hang with the big boys. So I ran ahead of the little boys and was trying to keep up with them on this logging road. And I was going around a corner, and they were just hauling ass around this corner. And I just gave it all I had to try and keep up with them, and my XR80 slid out from underneath me. That was about 11 at this point, I think. My XR80 slid out from underneath me going around this corner, and I slipped into a ditch underneath some brush. And by the time the slower guys came around, they didn't know I was in there, and the bigger guys had already gone because they blew me out of the water, obviously. And so I was stuck in this ditch all by myself at about 11 years old in the middle of nowhere on a logging road. And I crawled out of the ditch, and I fucking pulled my bike out of the ditch myself. It took me like half an hour. By the time they got back, they realized that I wasn't there. So it took about 40 minutes for them to get back to me to where I was at, and they finally found me. I'm limping around and shit, and I couldn't start my bike. I couldn't get my bike started because it flooded, and I was just fucking frustrated, and my shifter broke off, and so I was I was pretty fucking fucked up too. Like I was all bunged up and shit. It was foobar, and so what ended up happening is one of them had a passenger with him, and so the passenger was a bigger kid. He was probably about 17, and he was tall enough to be able to reach my shifter with his hand when he was riding. So he rode my bike. He got my bike started. He rode it home, and I rode it on the back of the dude with his friend rode his bike, and I rode on the back the guy with the XR500. I rode on the back of his bike. That's going to be my first episode of Ask Me Anything. That was the motherfucking police. Everybody act cool. Nobody move. Everybody freeze. That's my first episode of Ask Me Anything. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, on this video, go ahead and hashtag it in the comments, Ask Me Anything. And you know, I'm a little disappointed in you guys, though. I was expecting a little more, I don't know, a little more risque questions and whatnot. Maybe something a little harder to answer. But go ahead and try it again. I think we got all the fucking technical shit out of the way. But yeah. So one thing I don't know if you guys noticed yet, obviously you've noticed probably if you've watched any of my other videos, but I've got my helmet camera mounted on the left side now. So pretty sweet. I hope you can see everything. I hope it's a lot more better. I took your advice and I did it. I did it all by myself. I noticed in my videos that I have a smudge around here somewhere. It's not a smudge, actually. I know it looks like a smudge or like a bug that got like fucked up or something like that, but it's not. What it is I dropped my GoPro case and it's got a little nick in it, and that's what you're seeing. And I tried to buff it out, but it's not working, so I ordered a new case online. Jesus, the fucking venture is costing me a shit ton of money, but I ordered a new one online. Hopefully that'll get here by the time I get back from my camping trip, and you guys won't have to deal with that smudge no more. You'll be able to see. You can see clearly now if the smudge is gone. You can see all the things that I'm pointing out. I'm a fucking loser. Another thing I wanted to do is stop swearing so much, but clearly that didn't work. Sorry, Mom. Shit, I'm running out of gas here. I think that's what's happening. I hope that's what's happening. Oh yeah, that's what's happening. Woo-hoo! Oh, that was scary as shit. Reserve tank! Yeah, motherfuckers! Anyways, Darth V Twin out. What's up, guys? Darth V Twin here, coming at you. I know you guys asked me for a review on my helmet, so I'm going to show it to you right now. And I'm also going to put a link in the description of where you guys can find this helmet and buy it. So that's it. It's a Bandit Posse helmet. It came with 2 lenses. It came with a dark lens and a clear lens for night. And then I bought this one separate, this chrome lens. I got my GoPro clips on there. It's pretty beastly though. It's kind of rugged looking. It's kind of like a Simpson style helmet, but a little more rugged looking. Here, I'll show you that. But yeah, it's pretty decent. Now, so far I like it. It does pretty well. It keeps the wind out nice. I don't really have a windshield or anything, so it makes it a lot easier to ride when it's windy out and long distances and stuff. And there you go.